What's up, fam? I hope everybody's okay. I'm gonna let my YouTube and my StreamYard sync, and I'll be back with y'all in like 2 3 minutes. All right. Good evening. I hope everybody's doing all right today. So let me go ahead and say hello to everybody. Yes, yes. Hey, Sister Nicole, Sensei Usagi, y'all. Yep, tomorrow is Sister Usagi's birthday, y'all. She gonna be 22, so we gotta get turned up for her. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Sister MJ. Hey, Hannah. And Hannah's birthday was this week too. Yeah, so we gotta turn up for her. Novika. Hey, Novika. Hey, Papa Jahan. You changed your name, man. I know you changed it, but I have to get used to it. Um, um, so I hope everybody's doing all right. So I actually been reading this book a little bit, and I'm probably just gonna just read one chapter tonight because it's honestly it's intense. Some stuff happened, y'all, in this book. It's very sad, and yeah, it was kind of sad. It was sad. I don't even know how to explain. I was sitting here reading this book, and I was like, I can't believe this is what they did. So woo, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Uh, there's a lady on TikTok. I don't, y'all don't be on TikTok like that. But there's this Korean actress named Lee Shin Young, and if y'all don't know her, she's in a lot of movies. Like she does a lot of action stuff. That girl, she started doing professional boxing too. This girl, oh, I love her. I loved her when she was in Playful Kiss. Her body is just ridiculous, but she was at Home Sweet Home, and Lord have mercy, they gave this girl like a dang 8 pack in there. I was just like, good Lord. But yeah, she did such a good job in that series. But somebody told me that her TikTok is her TikTok is nice. So I went on her TikTok and I was like, oh, this makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. That's random, but yeah, if y'all get a chance, please watch Home Sweet Home. I think there's going to be a season 2, but y'all watch it. It's a mess. It's crazy. I was sitting here crying. I got attached to characters and stuff. Hey Cam, hey Dante. I hope everybody's doing all right. So, oh yeah, it's brother Cam's birthday today. Happy birthday, Cam. We love you. I just want to say before we get started on the book, our December birthday party is on Saturday, the last Discord party of the year. I mean, we still gonna have Discord parties, but this is going to be the last birthday party of the year before we start over. We're going to have a January one. You know, we try to celebrate all the birthdays of the month, you know, and we're going to be celebrating the December birthdays. We're going to have fun. So y'all, you know, come to the chat and just have fun with us. And yeah, let's get to it. And, you know, y'all put hearts in the chat for Brother Cam and Sister Usagi. You know, her birthday is tomorrow and Cam's birthday today. So we're going to celebrate. I'm going to get started on this book. I'm just letting y'all know I'm just going to read one chapter tonight. Oh man, let me go back to the chapter I was reading. So this chapter is going to get intense. Just letting y'all know right now, because I was just like, damn. Okay. Trying to figure. Okay. All right. Where? Oh my God. I don't even know where I. Okay. Oh man. Okay. All right. I found the chapter. I had the chapter. That's how far I've gotten into this book. That's how far I've gotten into this book. Okay. All right. So. Okay. All right. So, did we leave off? I'm making sure that I'm reading all the chapters right. Where did we leave off? Okay. I got it. This is a big chapter. My bad, y'all. Okay. Here we go. So I'm letting y'all know right here, this chapter I'm about to read is pretty like intense. So let me go ahead and drink some water, pray for a little bit. Hey Allegra. Hey darling, how you doing? Okay. Yes. Also, Sister Novika, she is starting to take commissions on her page. So you can hit her up. Sister Usagi does too. And they have set prices. Do not try to haggle their prices and negotiate. That's their prices. And if you don't pay right then and there, and we have to hear some mess, they're going to tell me or Sister Nicole. I'm just throwing out some promotion for y'all. So, here we go. Can you please turn that down? Oh. I was like, we're reading a book and there's a whole NBA game going on in the background. Okay. My bad. It's okay. Brother-in-law was over there playing 2K and he was over there just having the time of his life. All right, y'all. So this chapter is Amari. Okay. So I'm just letting y'all know right now. I'm gonna say it again. This is oh Lord. This is an intense chapter. Here we go. Oh, okay. Well, happy belated birthday, Allegra. Yes. chapters. I'm going back. I've been reading this book, but I'm just gonna go back for y'all. Chapter 3, Amari. Amari, sit up straight. For sky's sake, that's more than enough dessert for you. I lower my forkful of coconut pie and push my shoulders back, almost impressed by the number of critiques mother can hiss under her breath in 1 minute. She sits at the top of the brass table with a golden gill wrapped around her head. It seems to catch all the light in the room as it shimmers against her soft copper complexion. I adjust the navy gillet on my own head and try to appear regal, wishing the servant hadn't wrapped it so tight. As I squirm, mother's amber eyes scan the oloyes dressed in their finest, searching for the hanires hiding in the flock. Our female nobility paste on smiles, though I know they whisper about us behind our backs. I've heard she's been pushed to Western quarters. She's far too dark to be the king's. My servants were the commander's carrying Saren's child. Ooh, y'all. They over here being petty like this in the book. They wear their secrets like glittering diamonds, embroidery woven through their lavish booba tops and wrapped arrow skirts. Their lies and lily-scented perfume taint the honey aroma of sweet cakes I'm no longer allowed to eat. And what is your opinion, Princess Amari? I snap my head up from the heavenly slice of pie to find Oloye Ronke studying me expectantly. Her emerald arrow sparkles bright along her mahogany skin, chosen precisely for the way it shines against the white stucco of the tea room walls. I beg your pardon? On a visit to Zaria. She leans forward until the fat ruby hanging from her throat grazes the table. The garish jewel serves as a constant reminder that Oloye Ronke wasn't born with a seat at our table. She bought her way in. We would be honored to have you stay at our manor. She fingers the large red-green gem, lips curving as she catches me staring. Excuse me. I'm sure we could even find a jewel like this for you as well. How kind of you, I stall, tracing the path from Lagos to Zaria in my mind. Far past the, I'm gonna have to pray about this word. Olasimbo range. Oh, I pronounced it right. Thank you, Jesus. Zaria sits on the northern end of Orisha, kissing the Etejune Sea. My pulse quickens as I imagine visiting the world beyond the palace walls. Thank you, I finally speak. I will be honored. But unfortunately, Amari cannot. Mother cuts in, frowning without the slightest hint of sadness. She's in the thick of her studies, and she's already fallen behind in arithmetic. It would be far too disruptive to stop now. The excitement growing in my chest deflates. I poke at the uneaten pie on my plate. Mother rarely allows me to leave the palace. I should have known better than to hope. Perhaps in the future, I say quietly, praying the small indulgent will not excite Mother's wrath. You must love living there, having the sea at your feet and the mountains at your back. It's just rocks and water, Samara. Oloye Ronka's old eldest daughter wrinkles her wide set nose. Nothing compared to this magnificent palace. She flashes a smile at Mother, but her sweetness disappears when she turns back to me. Besides, Zaria's overrun with diviners. At least the maggots and here we go, back with the maggots again. Oh my God, I forgot they use this in the book. The maggots in Lagos know how to stick to their slums. I tense at the cruelty of Samar's words. They seem to hang above us in the air. I glance over my shoulder to see if Benta heard as well, but my oldest friend does not appear to be here. As the only diviner working in the upper palace, my chambermaid has always stood out, a living shadow forever by my side. Even with the bonnet Benta secures over her white hair, she's still isolated from the rest of the serving staff. May I assist you, Princess? I turn over my shoulder to see a servant I don't recognize. a girl with chestnut skin and large round eyes. She takes my half-empty cup and replaces it with another. I glanced at the amber tea. If Benta were here, she would have snuck a spoonful of sugar into my cup when Mother wasn't looking. Have you seen Benta? The girl draws back suddenly, her lips pressed together. What is it? The girl opens her mouth, but her eyes dart around the women at the table. Benta was summoned to the throne room, Your Highness, a few moments before the luncheon began. I frown and tilt my head. What could Father possibly want with Benta? Of all the servants in the palace, he never summons her. He rarely summons servants at all. Did she say why? I asked. The girl shakes her head and lowers her voice, choosing each word with care. No, but guards escorted her there. A sour taste crawls into my tongue, bitter and dark as it travels down my throat. The guards in this palace do not escort. They take. They demand. The girl looks desperate to say more, but Mother shoots her a glare. Mother's cold grip pinches my knee under the table. God, her parents are just abusive. Stop talking to the help. Ugh. I snap around and look down, hiding from Mother's gaze. She narrows her eyes like a red-breasted firehawk on the hunt, just waiting for me to embarrass her again. But despite her frustration, I cannot get the thought of Benta out my head. Father knows our closeness. If he's required something from her, why wouldn't he go through me instead? I stare out the paneled windows of the royal gardens as my questions grow, ignoring the empty laughter of the Oleias around me. With alerts, the palace doors fly open. My brother strides in. Inan stands tall, handsome in his uniform as he prepares to lead his first patrol through Lagos. He beams along his fellow guards, his decorated helmet reflecting his recent promotion to captain. Despite myself, I smile, wishing I could be a part of his special day. Everything he ever wanted is all finally happening to him. Impressive, is he not? Samara fixes her light brown eyes on my brother with a frightening lust. Youngest captain in history, he will make an excellent king. He will, Mother glows, leaning in closer to the daughter she cannot wait to have. Though I do wish the promotion was not accompanied by such violence. You never know what a desperate maggot might try with the crown prince. Here we go with the maggot again. The Oloyes nod and dispense unless opinions as I sip my tea in silence. They speak of our subjects with such levity as they're discussing the diamond-stitched gilets sweeping Lagos fashion. I turn back to the servant who told me about Benta. Though she is far away from my table, a nervous tremble still rocks her hand. Samara, Mother's voice breaks into my thoughts, pulling my focus back. Have I mentioned how regal you look today? I bite my tongue and drain the rest of my tea. Though Mother says regal, the word lighter hides behind her lips. Like the regal Oloyes who can proudly trace their lineage back to the royal families who first wore Orisha crowns. Not common like the farmers who toil the fields of Mina, or Lagos, old merchants bartering their wares in the sun. Not unfortunate like me, the prince's mother is almost too ashamed to claim. As I peek at Samara from behind my cup, I'm struck by her new soft brown complexion. It was only a few luncheons ago she shared her mother's mahogany coloring. You are too kind, Your Majesty. Samara looks down at her dress in a false modesty, smoothing non-existent wrinkles. You must share your beauty regimen with Amari. Mother places a cold hand on my shoulder, fingers light against my dark copper skin. She lounges in the garden so often she's beginning to look like a farmer's farmhand. Oh man. Hey Alex, it's just, what's up, Apollo? It's just, I don't know. This book is really good, but colorism, man, it's a big thing in here. So it's a lot. But this is a really good book. A lot of is going to be explained in detail. So, like she didn't coat me with powder before this luncheon began, cursing the way my complexion makes the nobility gossip that she slept with a servant. That's not necessary, Mother. I cringe, remembering the sharp pain and the vinegary stench of her last cosmetic concoction. Oh, it be my pleasure, Samara beams. Yes, but Amari, Mother cuts me off with a smile so tight it could split her skin. She would love to. Can you turn the dryer back on for like 6 more minutes? Yeah. Okay, thank you. She would love to, Samara, especially before courting begins. I try to swallow the lump in my throat, but the very act almost makes me choke. In that moment, the smell of vinegar becomes so strong I can already feel the searing on my skin. Do not worry, Samara grits my hand in her own, misreading my distress. You will grow to love courting. It is quite fun. Ugh. This is weird. I force a smile and try to pull my hand away, but Samara tighten her hold, as if I'm not allowed to let go. Her gold rings press into my skin, each band set with a special stone. One ring feeds into a delicate chain connecting to a bangle adorned with our monarchy seal, a diamond-studded snow leopard. Samara wears the bangle with pride. No doubt a gift from Mother. In spite of myself, I admire its beauty. It has even more diamonds than my skies. Not mine. Not anymore. Panic floods me as I remember what happened to my own bangle, the one I gave to Benta. She did not want to take it. She feared the price of the gift from the throne. But Father raised the diviner taxes. If she didn't sell my bangle, she and her family would have lost their home. They must have found out, I realized. They must think Benta's a thief. That's why she's been summoned to the throne. That's why she's needed to be escorted. I jump out my seat. The legs of my chair screech against the tile floor. I can already see the guards holding out Benta's delicate hands. I can see Father swinging down his sword. Pardon me, I say as I take a step back. Amari, sit down. Amari. Mother, please! Too loud. I know it the instant the words leave my mouth. My shrill voice bounces along the tea room's wall, quieting all the conversations. My apologies, I sputter. I feel ill. With my eyes burning into my back, I scurry towards the door. I can feel the heat of Mother's coming wrath, but I do not have time for that now. The moment the door shuts, I take off, hiking up my heavy gown. My heeled slippers clack the tiled floors as I sprint through the halls. How could I be so foolish? I chastise myself, swerving to avoid a servant. I should have left the moment that girl told me of Benta summoning. If the roles were reversed, Benta would have been wasted. Benta would have not wasted a heartbeat. Oh, skies, I curse, pushing myself past the slender vases of red Impala lilies in the foyer, past the portraits of my royal ancestors glaring at me from generations past. Please be okay. I hold on to the silent hope as I round the corner into the main hall. The air is thick with heat, making it even harder to breathe. My heart beats in my throat, and as I slow down before Father's throne room, the room I fear most, the first place where he ordered Inan and me to spar, the home of so many of my scars, I grip the velvet curtains hanging outside the black oak doors, my sweat-covered hands soak in the rich fabric. He may not listen. I gave up the bangle. Father could punish me in Benta's stead. A pulse of fear travels down my spine, numbing my fingers. Do this for Benta. Now, I read this part before. And it gets kind of, ooh, hey Alec. Hey, what's going on? It gets kind of rough. So man. For Benta, I whispered out loud, my oldest friend, my only friend. I have to keep her safe. I take a deep breath and I wipe the sweat from my hands, savoring my last few seconds. My fingers barely graze the handle, glistening behind the curtains when, what? Father's voice booms through the closed doors like the roar of a wild gorillion. My heart pounds against my chest. I've heard Father yell before, but never like this. Am I too late? The door swings open and I jump back as a stream of guards and fanners spirit from the throne room like thieves on the run. They grab the remaining nobles and servants milling around the main hall and pull them away, leaving me all alone. Go! My legs throb as the door starts to close. Father's mood has already soured. But I have to find Benta, or I know she could be trapped inside. I can't let her face father alone. I lunge forward, catching the door, and just before it slips shut, I wedge my fingers into the frame and pull the door open a crack, peering through the slit. What do you mean? Father shouts again, spittle flying onto his beard. Veins pulse under his mahogany skin, stark against the red agba he wears. I pull the door open. I pull the door open a hair wider, fearing I'll catch sight of Benta's slender frame. But instead I see Admiral Abele cowering before the throne. Beads of sweat gather on his bald head as he stares at everything except Father. Beside him, Commander Kai. Now, y'all, it's not Kai. I just thought of some y'all. I'm sorry. Commander Kai stands tall, her hair falling down her neck in a tight, glossy braid. The artifacts washed ashore in Wari, a small village off the coast of the sea, Kai explains. Their proximity activated latent abilities in a few of the local diviners. Latent abilities? Kai swallows. Her muscle tense against her light brown skin. She gives Admiral Abele a chance to talk, but the Admiral stays silent. The diviners transform. Kai winces as if the words caused her physical pain. The artifacts awaken their powers, Your Highness. The diviners became Magi. I gasp, but quickly cover my mouth to stifle the sound. Magi? In Orisha? After all this time? A dull spike of fear travels up my chest, making each breath tight as I open the door, a hair wider to get a better view. That cannot be. I wait for Father to say, that would be impossible, he finally says, a voice barely above a whisper. He grips the pommel of his black Masiti blade. Masiti blade. I can't pronounce that word. That big ass sword he got to so hard his knuckles crack. I'm afraid not, Your Highness. I saw it with my own eyes. Their magic was weak, but it was there. Skies, what does this mean for us? What shall happen to the monarchy? Are the Magi already planning an attack? Will we have any chance of fighting back? Memories of Father before the raid play in my head. A paranoid man with grinding teeth and forever graying hair. The man who ordered Inan and me into the palace cellar, placing swords in our hand, though we were too young and weak to lift them. The Magi will come for you, he warned, the same words every time he forces a spar. When they do, you must be prepared. The memory of pain stabs my back as I study Father's blanched face. His silence is more intimidating than his rage. Admiral Abele all but trembles. What are the Magi now? Where are the Magi now? Disposed of. My stomach clenches and I hold my breath, forcing the luncheon's tea back down. Those Magi are dead, slaughtered, tossed to the bottom of the sea. And the artifacts? Father presses, unfazed by the Magi death. If he had his way, he would probably dispose of the rest of them. I have the scroll, Kai reaches into her breastplate and pulls out a weathered parchment. Once I discovered it, I took care of the witnesses and came straight here. What of the sunstone? Kai shoots Abele a gaze so sharp it could draw blood. He clears his throat deeply, as if stretching out every last second before he delivers the news. The stone was stolen from Wari before we arrived. Your Highness, we are tracking it. You have our best men on its path. I have no doubt we will recover it soon. Father's rage simmers like the heat rising through the air. You were tasked to destroy them, he hisses. How did this happen? I tried, Your Highness. After the raid, I tried for moons. I did everything I could do to destroy them, but the artifacts were hexed. Ibele's eyes dart to Kai, but she stares straight ahead. He clears his throat again. Sweat pools in the folds beneath his chin. How come the dude is all scared and whatnot? But old girl, Admiral, she's just like, with her poker face, she's like, I'm good. I like how the women in this book are like the major head leads of the book. Like they're ones that have the most power from what I'm seeing, and I like it. When I ripped the scroll, it pieced itself back together. When I burned it, it formed again from the ashes. I had my strongest guard take a mace to the sunstone, and it did not even sustain a scratch. When those wretched artifacts wouldn't break, I locked them in an iron chest and sank them in the middle of the Banjoko Sea. They could never have washed up on the coast, not without match. Ibile catches himself before uttering the word. I promise, Your Highness, I did what I could, but it would appear the gods have other plans. The gods? I lean in. Has Ibile's mind gone to the skies? Gods don't exist. Everyone in the palace knows that. I wait for father to react to Ibile's foolishness, but his face remains even. He rises from his throne, calm and calculating. Then, quick as a viper, he strikes, grabbing Ibile by his throat. Oh, snap. This done turned some shit like the movie 300. Tell me, Admiral. He raises Ibele's body into the air and squeezes. Whose plans do you fear more? The gods or mine? I flinch, turning away as Ibele chokes for air. This is the side of father I hate. The side I try so hard not to see. I promise, Ibele wheezes. I will fix this, I promise. Father drops him like a rotten piece of fruit. Ibele gasps and massages his neck. Bruises already darkening his copper skin. Father turns back to the scroll in Kai's hand. Show me, he commands. Kai gives a signal, motioning to someone outside my line of sight. Boots clank against the tiled floor. That's when I see her. Benta. Oh no, her homegirl. I clutch my chest as she's dragged forward, tears gathering in her wide silver eyes. Now, I already read this part, y'all. I already read this part, so I already know what's going to happen. So just, here we go. Oh my God. I clutch my chest as she's dragged forward, tears gathering her wide silver eyes. The bonnet she takes so much care of to tie every day sits askew, revealing locks of her long white hair. Someone has gagged her with a scarf, making it impossible for her to shout. But if she could, she would help. She's already in the guard's grasp. Oh my gosh. Do something, I ordered myself. Now, but I cannot bring my legs to move. I cannot even feel my hands. Kai unrolls the scroll and walks forward slowly, as if approaching a wild animal. Not the sweet girl who has wiped my tears for so many years. The servant who saves all her palace rations so her family can enjoy one good meal. Raise her arm. Benta shakes her head as the guards yank up her wrists. Her muffled cries break through the scarf. Though Benta resists, Kai pushes the scroll in her grip. Light explodes from Benta's hands. It coats the throne room in its magnificent, brilliant gold, shining purples, sparkling blues. The light arcs and shimmers as it cascades, a never-ending stream erupting from Benta's palm. Skies, I gasp. Terror at war with the awe bubbling inside my chest. Magic. Here, after all these years, father's old warnings of the magic bloom inside my head. Tales of battle and fire, darkness and disease. Magic is the source of all evil. He would hiss. It will tear Orisha apart. Father always taught Inan and me that magic meant our deaths, a dangerous weapon threatening the existence of Orisha. As long as it existed, our kingdom would never be at war. In the darkest days following the raid, magic took a hold inside my imagination. A monster without a face, but in Benta's hands, magic is mesmerizing. A world like no other, the joy of summer sun melting into twilight, the very essence of breath and light. Father strikes fast, quick like lightning. One moment Benta stands, and the next father's sword plunges through her chest. No! I clasped my hand to my mouth before I could scream, nearly falling onto my back. Nausea rises to my throat. Hot tears sting my face. This isn't happening. The world started to spin. This isn't real. Benta's safe. She's waiting with a loaf of sweet bread in your room. But my desperate thoughts do not change the truth. They do not bring back the dead. Scarlet seeps through the scarf binding Benta's mouth. Crimson flowers stain her light blue dress. I choke back another scream as her corpse thuds to the ground, heavy like lead. Blood pools around Benta's innocent face, dyeing her white locks red. Its copper smells waft through the crack in the floor. I stifle a gag. Father yanks off Benta's apron and uses it to clean his sword. Completely at ease. He doesn't care that her blood stains his royal robes. He doesn't see that her blood stains my own hands. I scramble backward onto my feet, tripping over the hem of my dress. I rush up the stairwell at the corner of the main hall, my legs shaking with every step. My vision blurs as I fight to make it to my quarters, but it's all I can do to rush over to a vase. I grab onto the ceramic rim. Everything inside me comes back up. The bile stings something fierce, bitter with acid and tea. The first sob breaks free as my body collapses. I clutches my chest. If Benta were here, she would be the one to come to my rescue. She would take my hand and guide me to my quarters. Sit me on my bed and wipe my tears. She would take all the shattered pieces of my heart and find a way to make them whole again. I choke back under the sob and cover my mouth. Salty tears leaking through my fingers. The stench of blood fills my nose. The memory of father's blade stabs again. The throne room doors slam open. I jump to my feet, fearing it's father. Instead, one of the guards who restrained Benta leaves. The scroll sits in his hand. I stare at the reef parchment as he climbs the stairs towards me, recalling how just one touch made the world explode with light. Light trapped inside my dear friend's soul, unbelievably beautiful, eternally bold. I turn away as the soldier nears, hiding my tear-stained face. Forgive me, I am well, I murmur. I must have eaten some rotten fruit. The guard barely nods, distracting as he continues ascending. He grips the scroll so hard his knuckles darken, as if afraid of what the magical parchment will do if he doesn't. I watch as he walks to the third floor and pushes a painted black door open. Suddenly I realize where he's headed. Commander Kai's quarter. Seconds ache as I watch the door, waiting, though I do not know why. Waiting will not bring Benta back. It should not allow me to enjoy her melodic laugh. But I still wait. Freezing when the door opens, I turn back to the vase and retch once more, not stopping until the guard passes me again. His metal-soled boots clink as he heads back down to the throne room. The scroll's no longer in his grip. With shaking hands, I wipe my tears, no doubt smearing the paints and powders mother forced onto my face. I run my palm over my mouth, taking any remnants of vomit away. Questions fill my mind as I rise and approach Kai's door. I should continue to my quarters, yet I step inside. The door shuts behind me with a loud thud and I jump, wary that someone will seek out the source of the sound. I have never set foot in the Commander's Kai quarters. I don't even think the servants are allowed in here. My eyes comb the burgundy walls, so different from the lavender paint that covers my own. A royal cloak lies at the foot of Kai's bed. Father's cloak. He must have left it behind. On another day, the realization that father was in Kai's quarters would have made my throat tight, but I can barely feel anything now. The discovery of father's cloak pales in comparison to the scroll sitting on Kai's desk. I step forward, legs throbbing as I'm approaching the edge of a cliff. I expect to feel some aura of scroll present, yet the air surrounding remains dead. I reach out but pause, swallowing the fear that it begins to swell. I see the light that exploded from Benta's hands, the sword that pierced through her chest. I push myself, reaching out again with the very ends of my fingertips. When they brush the scroll, I close my eyes. No magic come forth. The breath I did not realize I was holding rushes out as I pick up the wrinkled parchment. I unroll the scroll and trace the strange symbols, trying in vain to make sense of them. The symbols look like nothing I've never seen before. No language ever covered in my studies, yet they are symbols that Magi died for. Symbols that might as well be written in Bence's blood. A breeze fluttered from the open windows, stirring the locks of hair that have fallen out from my loosened gilet. Underneath the flowing curtains, Kai's military supplies sit, sharpened swords, reins, brass chest plates. My eyes settle on the spools of rope. I knock my gilet to the floor. Without thinking, I grab father's cloak. Ooh. Hey, AE. Ooh. So, that was sad. That was sad. That was really sad. Her brother Pat. Her Benta was her servant. She was a diviner, and she worked as a servant in the palace. That was her best friend. Don't know why. I guess her father wanted to see if the scroll was magic and used her to see, but instead of trying to, I said, "Hey, Alec." Did I forget to say hey? Hi again. Hey, AE. So, he killed her, which was sad. I'm gonna read a little bit of this chapter because I want to know more. We can go know more about his brother. I'm not gonna read all of it. It's gonna be a little teeny weeny bit. All right, chapter 4. Zele. Are you really not gonna talk to me? I leaned to the side of Nala's saddle to get a look at Zane's stone face. I expect the first hour is silent, but now it's hour 3. How was practice? I try instead. Zane could never resist a conversation about his favorite sports. Is Zumbalu's ankle okay? Do you think she'll be healed in time for the games? Zane's mouth opens for a split second, but he catches himself. His jaws clap shut and he smacks Nala's reins, riding her faster through the towering jackleberry trees. Zane, come on, I say. You can't ignore me for the rest of your life. I can try. My God, as I roll my eyes. What do you want from me? How about an apology? Zane snaps. Baba almost died, and now you want to sit here and pretend like it never happened? I already said sorry, I snapped back. To you, to Baba, that doesn't change what happened. Then I'm sorry, I can't change the past. My yell echoes to the trees, igniting a new stretch of silence between us. I run my fingers along the cracks of the worn leather and Nala's saddle as an uncomfortable pit forms in my chest. For God's sakes, think, Zele. Mama Aqua's voice echoes in my mind. Who would protect your father if you hurt those men? Who would keep Zane safe when the guards come for blood? Zane, I'm sorry, I say quietly. Really, I feel more awful than you know. But Zane reaches a sigh of exasperation. Of course, there's a but. Because there isn't just my fault, I say, my anger reaching a boiling point. The guards are the reason Baba went out on the water. And you're the reason he almost drowned, Zane shoots back. You left him alone. I bite my tongue. There is no point in arguing. Strong and handsome courtesan that he is, Zane doesn't understand why I need Mama Aqua's training. Boys in Lorien try to be his friend. Girls try to steal his heart. Even the guards flock his way, singing praises of the Ogbun skills. He doesn't understand what it's like to be me, to walk around in diviner skin, to jump every time a guard appears, never knowing how a confrontation will end. I will start with this one. My stomach clenches at the memory of the guard's rough grip. Would Zane yell at me if he knew? Would he shout if he realized how hard it was for me to cry? So I'm just letting y'all know there's two main people in the story. So it's Zele and Amari. So we're going back. It's like we go back and forth. We ride in silence as the trees begin to thin and the city of Lagos becomes into view. Surrounded by a gate crafted from the heartwood of the jackalberries, the capital is everything Ilorian isn't. Instead of the calming sea, Lagos is flooded with an endless horde of people. Even from afar, so many swell within the city walls it's impossible to understand how they all live. I survey the layout from the capital from atop Nala's back, noting the white hair passing diviners along the way. Lagos Kosadan outnumber its diviners 3-1, making them easy to spot. Though the space between Lagos walls is long and wide, the people congregate along the city fringe and slums. It's the only place they allow diviners to live. I settle back in Nala's saddle, the sight of the slums deflating something in my chest. Century ago, the 10 Magi clans and their diviner children were isolated all over Orisha. While Kosidan populated in the cities, the clans lived among the mountains and oceans and fields. But with time, Magi ventured out and clans spread across the Orisha lands, curiosity and opportunity driving their migration. Over the years, Magi and Kodasan began to marry, creating families with diviners and Kodasan alike. As blended families multiplied, the numbers of Orisha Magi grew. Before the raid, Lagos housed the biggest Magi population. Now those diviners are all that's left. Zane pulls on Nala's reins, stopping her when we near the wooden gate. I'll wait here. It'll be too crazy for her in there. I nod and slide off, giving Nala's dark, wet nose a kiss. I smile as her rough tongue lifts my cheek, but the smile fades when I glance back at Zane. Unspoken words hang in the air, but I turn and keep moving forward all the time. Wait. Zane slides off Nala, catching up to me in a single bound. He places a rugged dagger in my hand. I have a staff. I know, he says, just in case. I slide the weapon in my horn pocket. See, I love these two. Even though they're having a little argument right now, they come prepared. They literally pulled up with the stick. We stare at the dirt ground in silence. Zane kicks a rock by his feet. I don't know who will break first until he finally speaks. I'm not blind, Zeb. I know this morning wasn't all your fault, but I need you to do better. For a moment, Zane's eyes flash, threatening to reveal everything he holds back. Baba's only getting worse, and the guards are breaking down your neck. You can't afford to slip right now. If you make another mistake, it could be your last. I nod, keeping my gaze on the ground. I can handle a lot of things, but Zane's disappointment cuts like a knife. Just do better, to Zane's eyes. Please. Baba won't survive if he loses you. I won't either. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So, I tried to ignore the tightness in my chest. I'm sorry, I whisper. I'll do better, I promise. Good. Zane paces a smile on his face and ruffles my hair. Enough of this. Go sell the hell out of that fish. I laugh, readjust the straps of my pack. How much do you think I can get? 200. That's it? I cocked my head. You really think that lowly of me? That's crazy coin, Zell. I bet you and I can get more. Zane smiles widen, gleaming with the shine of a good bet. Get above 200 and I stay at home with Baba next week. Oh, you're on, I grin. Already picturing my rematch with Yemi. Let's see how she does against my new staff. I rush forward, ready to make the trade, but when I reach the checkpoint, my stomach churns at the sight of the royal guards. It's all I can do to keep my body still as I slide my collapsible staff in my waistband of my draped pants. Name, a tall guard barks, keeping his eyes on his ledger. His dark curls fuzz in the heat, collecting the sweat dripping down his cheeks. Zile, Adebola. I answer with much respect as I can muster. No screw-ups. I swallow hard. At least no more today. The guards barely spare me a glance before writing the information down. Origin? Hold on, y'all. All right, I had to do something right quick, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Fam, I'm gonna let y'all know something later. Just give me a minute. Because some I'm not about with this creepy shit. Um, Origin. Aloran, short and stout, another guard wobbles as he approaches, using the giant wall to keep himself upright. The pungent smell of alcohol wafts into the air with his unwelcome presence. What's a maggot like you doing so far from home? His words slurred just before incomprehension dripping from his mouth. Okay. Trading fish, I clarified, but despite my words, he lunges forward. I grunt as he wraps his pudgy hands around my neck and presses me against the wooden stall. He leans in so I can count the black and yellow stains on his teeth. I can see why you're selling the fish, he laughs. What's the going rate for maggots these days, Kayan? My skin crawls and my fingers itch for a hidden staff. It's against the law for Maggie and Codison to sow as much kiss after the raid, but it doesn't keep those guards from pawning us like animals. Mm. My anger twists into black rage, a darkness I sense in Mama whenever the guards dare to get in her way. With its rush, I want to shove him back and snap each of the shoulder's fat fingers, but with my rage comes Zane's concerns. Bob heartache, Mama Aqua scolding. Zingzale, think of Boba, think of Zane. I promise not to mess this up. I can't let them down. I'll repeat this again and again until the brute unhands me. He laughs to himself before taking another swig from his bottle. At ease. I turn toward the other guard, unable to hide the hatred in my eyes. I don't know who I despise more, the drunk for touching me, or this bastard for letting it occur. Any other questions? I ask through my teeth. The guard shakes his head. I move to the gate with speed of a chichenaire before either can change their mind. Bowling takes a few steps away from the gates before the frenzy of Lagos makes me want to run back outside. My gods, I breathe, overwhelmed by the sheer number of people, villagers, merchants, guards, and nobles for the wide dirt roads, each moving with precision and purpose. In the distance, the royal place looms, its pristine white walls and gilded arches gleam in the sun. Its presence is a stark contrast to the slums lying in the city's fringe. I marvel at the rustic dwellings, breath catching at the towering shacks like a vertical labyrinth. The shanties sit on top of one another, each staring where another stops. Though many are brown and fading, others shine with bright paints and colorful arts. The vibrant protest defies the style of slum with the ember of beauty where the monarchy sees them. With a tentative step, I begin walking toward the city center. As I pass the slums, I notice the vast majority of the diviners roaming as the streets aren't as much older than me. In Lagos, it's mostly impossible for any diviner children who live through the raid to reach adulthood without being thrown in prison or getting forced into the stocks. Please, I didn't mean to. Ah! A sharp cry rings out. I jump as a stalker cane strikes down in front of me. It cuts through the flesh of a young diviner, leaving bloodstains in the last clean clothes the boy will ever wear. Jeez, to kill a child? The child falls into a pile of broken ceramics, shattered towels. His thin arms probably couldn't get a hold. Oh my God. The stalker raises his cane again, and this time I catch the gleam of his black machete shaft. Gods! The acrid smell of burning flesh hits me as the stalker presses the cane into the boy's back. Smoke rises from his skin as he struggles to crawl to his knees. The vicious sight makes my fingers numb, reminding me of my own potential fate in the stocks. Come on, I force myself forward through the heart, through though my heart sinks. Move or that'll be you. I rush towards the center of Lagos, doing my best to ignore the smell of sewage leaking from the slum streets. When I enter the pastel-colored buildings of the merchant quarter, the odor shifts to sweetbread and cinnamon, making my stomach growl. I brace myself for the barter. The central exchange hums with sounds of endless trading, but when the bazaar comes into view, I'm forced to stop in my tracks. No matter how often I trade a big catch here in Baba, the madness of the central market never ceases to amaze me. More tumultuous than the streets of Lagos, the bazaar is alive with every Orishan good imaginable. The bazaar is alive with every Orishan good. Oh, I read that already. In one row alone, grains from the vast fields of Minna sit along coveted ironworks from the factories of Gombe. I'll walk through the crowded booths, enjoying the sweet smell of fried plantain. I want some plantain. With ears perked, I try to catch the pattern of the barter, the speed of every trade, every fight, using words of knives. It's more cutthroat than the market alluring. There is no compromise, only business. I pass wooden stalls of the cheating cubs, smiling at each tiny horn that protrudes from their foreheads. I have to wade past carts of patterned textiles before finally reaching the fish exchange. 40 bronze pieces for a tiger fish? I won't pay a piece above 30. A shout of hagglers at work rings so loud I can barely hear myself think. This isn't the floating market of Lauren. A regular barter at work. I bite the inside of my cheek, surveying the crowd. I need a mark. A fool, some trout! A man shrieks. Do I look like I eat trout? I turn the plump noble clad in the dark dashiki. He narrows his hazel eyes at the conceited merchant like he has just received a grave insult. I have sea robin, the merchant offers. Flounder, bass. I said I want swordfish, the noble snaps. My servant says you refuse to sell it. They aren't in season, yet the king eats it every night. The merchant scratches the back of his neck. If a swordfish is caught, it goes to the palace. That's the law of the land. The noble face turns red and pulls out a small velvet purse. What does he offer? He jingles the coins. I'll pay double. The merchant stares at the purse longingly but stays firm. I can't risk it. I can, I shout. The noble turns, eyes narrowed with suspicion. I wave him inward towards me, away from the merchant stand. You have swordfish? Yes. Better. A fish no one else in this market can sell you. His mouth falls open. I feel the same rush when a fish circles my bait. I unwrap the sailfish for care and move it under a ray of light so that its scales gleam. Skies, the nobles gasp. It's magnificent. It tastes even better than it looks. Red-tailed sailfish, fresh from the coast of Olorian. They're not in season, so you can be sure even the king's not eating this tonight. A smile crawls into the noble's face, and I know I made my own catch. He's also out his purse. 50 silver pieces. 50? My eyes widen, but I grit my teeth. 50? 50 gets us by this tax. Maybe leave us enough for a new boat. But if the guard raises the tax next quarter moon, 50 won't keep me out of the stocks. I allowed a loud laugh and started rewrapping the fish. The noble's brow furrows. What are you doing? Taking this jewel to someone who can afford it. How dare you? Forgive me, I interrupt. I don't have time for a man who bids 50 on a prize worth 10 times that much. The noble grumbles. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out another velvet purse. You won't get a piece above 300. My gods! I dig my feet in the dirt to keep myself from wobbling. There's more than we ever seen in our lives. At least 6 moons of taxes, even if they were raised. I open my mouth to take the deal, but something in the noble's eyes makes me hesitate. If he folded so quickly on the last offer, maybe he'll fold again. Take it, I imagine, saying warning. It's more than enough, but I'm far too close to stop now. I'm sorry. I can't waste a meal for a king on someone who can't afford it. The noble's nostrils glare. Gods, maybe I've gone too far. I wait for him to break, but he only sees in silence. I'm forced to walk away. Each step lasts an eternity as I crumble under the weight of my mistake. You'll find another when I try to calm myself. This girl's so hard-headed in this book. Another noble desperate to prove his worth. I can do better than 300. The fish is worth more than that, right? Damn it. I almost ran my head against a shrimp stall. What am I going to do now? Who's going to be stupid enough to wait? As I turn, the plump noble shoves 3 jingling purses into my chest. Fine, he grumbles in defeat. 500. I stare at him in disbelief, which he mistakes for doubt. Count them if you want. I open one purse, and the sight is so beautiful I nearly cry. The silver shines at the scale, the salt of the sailfish as it weighs a promise of things to come. 500. After the new boat that's almost a year worth of rest for Baba. Finally, I've done something right. I hand the fish to the noble, unable to hide my glowing smile. Enjoy tonight, and you'll eat better than a king. The noble sneers, but the corners of his mouth twitch up in satisfaction. I slide the velvet purses into my pack and start walking, heart buzzing so quickly it rivals the insanity of the market, but I freeze when screams fill the air. This isn't the sound of haggling. What the? I jump back as a fruit stand explodes. A troop of royal guards charging through. Mangoes and Orishan peaches fly through the air. Second by second, more guards flood the market, searching for something, someone. I stare at the commotion and bewilderment before realizing I have to move. There are 500 silver pieces in my pack. For once, I have more of my life to lose. I push through the crowd with a new fervor, desperate to escape. I almost passed the textiles when someone grasped my wrist. What in God's name? I whip out my compacted staff, expecting to meet the arm of a royal guard or petty thief, but when I turn, it's neither a guard nor a crook who grabbed me. It's a cloaked, amber-eyed girl. She pulls me into a hidden opening between the stalls with a grip so tight I can't fight my way free. Please, she begs. You have to get me out of here. Okay. So, that was a good book. Hey, Ernestine. Hey. Oh, man. Can you put the book back over there? Okay. All right. So, basically, hold on. Let me see how long the next chapter is. So, here. So, old girl sold the fish, almost left, and she done met somebody. I don't know how that's going to happen. I'm still reading it myself, y'all. So, it's good. It's really good. I'm excited. Y'all excited, y'all? I think, what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to be reading the book, and then I'll come back and I'll recap y'all because this book is thick. Yes, it's thick. But I'm also, let me light me an incense. This smells really good. It's called Dragon's Blood. But I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I'm enjoying it. So far it's getting intense. The thing that happened with Bence's best friend, it was really sad. I'm really loving the relationship with Zele and her brother. Mari is part of the royal family, so I don't understand why she doesn't like them or what happened. I think there might be a backstory of that, but I can tell it's a lot of good stuff happening with this book. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get off here. Tomorrow is Sister Usagi's birthday. We're going to have I don't know, we might have a pre-turn up. It depends. It depends on how she feeling or if she want me to do it. We're going to have a little pre-turn up before the turn up on Saturday. I don't know. We're going to have a pre-turn up before the turn up, or the turn up after the pre-turn up, turn up. Either way, we're going to turn up. But I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Love, peace, and increase it. If I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. And I'll see y'all. On Friday. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa don't start until next week. So happy Kwanzaa. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I love you. Have a good day. All right, y'all. Love, peace, and increase it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.